guys, it's Glenn from GlennCarCollection.com, and today I'm going to tell you why you need to buy the Shelby GT350R Mustang right now. Remember, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button. If you're already a subscriber, hit the notification bell. I post 3 videos a week, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Like and share this video so our channel can grow, and as always, leave a positive comment below. Alright, so I've driven over 800 different cars on this channel I've reviewed for you guys. That's probably the most, or one of the most, of any YouTube automotive channel, and one of the favorite cars I've ever driven out of those 800 cars has to be this, the Mustang Shelby GT350R. So now this is the R version, not just the 350. I have a bunch of videos on this car, the R, that you can see my full review on this channel, and a bunch of 350 reviews, one the Mustang press car, and as well as a private owner. And there's some of my favorite cars that I've ever driven. I'm a 2-time Mustang owner. I had an SN95 and a Fox body. Fox bodies are getting collectible right away, well today. In this video, we're going to go over why I think the GT350R is going to be a true collectible. So in this video, we'll go about what I like about the car, what I see values today, future values, and what some of its competition are. So first of all, why is this car so special? Well, I think the way we need to do it is to first go over the specs. Now, this is a naturally aspirated motor that revs really high in the rev range, over 8,000 RPM. It's a 5.2 liter V8, 526 horsepower at 7,500 RPM, 429 foot-pounds of torque at 4,750 RPM. It has variable valve timing and 32 valves. So this is kind of, if you like an E92 M3, I had an E90 M3, same thing, just 4 doors instead of 2 doors for 6 years, and I love that 8,000 RPM red line from that 4-liter V8. The problem is with those cars, like any old BMW, they're already, let's see, their oldest one was model year 2008, so they're really built in '07. The last year of those cars was 2013, so they were probably, most of them sold around 2012. So they're already 8 to like 15 years old. So the problem with old BMWs is they need a ton of maintenance. You have to do rod bearings, you have to do vanos, and you know, they're fun to drive for sure, but they're going to cost you a lot of money to maintain. Well, if you love those cars and you want a modern version where you can probably still get a car under warranty, you will love the GT350, and the R makes it even more special because the R, and you can tell the R by the red stripes around the regular stripes, which could be black or white, whatever you choose, and it really, really, really makes a difference on these cars. They're phenomenal to drive. They are new enough that you get, you know, backup cameras, you can get warranties. And what's good about, instead of like the E92 M3 again, where you have to worry about out of warranties and big repair bills, is all these cars also come with 6-speed manuals. You don't have to worry about anything else. When you look through pictures for E46 M3, E92 M3s, you know, half of them are going to have the DCT, or with the E46 M3, the SMGs. Here you don't have to worry about any of that. All these cars were made with a 6-speed manual. Now the R was made in limited numbers. Why I like it over as collectability for the GT350. Made in limited numbers. You have the carbon fiber wheels. You have a stiffer suspension. It's just a more raw car. You might not think there's a big difference when you drive the 350 compared to the R, and obviously you can get probably a 350 for half the price of an R. But I think for future collectability and even driving experience, it's worth every penny. Now, if the prices of the R's are too crazy for you, because obviously nobody's going to give away their R, then 350 is a great alternative. But if you're looking for long-term collectability and make some money, I definitely recommend as an R. As long as you don't rack up the miles and use it as a daily driver, I think you'll do very, very well in the long run with this car. So why is that? Well, first of all, my philosophy is we're making money with cars, and I've done it a million times with everything from BMW M cars to 993 turbos and Lotuses and everything in between. First of all, in S2000s and NSXs, first of all, you have to buy a desirable car. I always think a stick shift, manual transmission car, rear drive, that was very desirable when new, very desirable during its life, will be very desirable in the future. And what the real kicker is to gain in value is they have to stop making it. So they're not making first-gen NSXs anymore. They're not making S2000s anymore. They're not making Lotus Exiges anymore. They're not making air-cooled 911 turbos anymore. They're not making E46 M3s anymore, E92 M3s anymore. So all those cars, if you get a clean car that doesn't need a lot of work and you're willing to hold on to it for a while, it will definitely go up in value, and you probably drive that car for free. Yes, you will maintain it, you will insure it, you will pay some interest on your car payments, but overall, that may be a certain percentage of the car, and if that car even goes up 3% a year, 5% a year, you should be ahead of the money, or at least break even. Well, you will basically essentially drive that car for free. So that's kind of my motto with these cars. Now, what makes the R very special, it's very limited numbers. It's certainly the most desirable car. They were selling over stickers since new when they came out. Best year I think to get is usually a 2017 model. There's enough of them around, but they're still going to sell for good money. But if you think that this is expensive now, wait till 5, 10, or 20 years in the future. This is why I think you really need to pick up one of these now. And it has one of the best sounding, as you heard in the intro and you heard at the end, it has probably one of the best sounding exhausts that there is. Bone stock. This is probably one of the few cars I've ever driven that I didn't feel like I needed to change anything. Now, how does it make its power? Obviously, it makes its power by building revs. That's why I think the modern classic equivalent of this car would be like an E92 M3. This Mustang is just so raw and mean and looks very aggressive with the front and rear spoilers. The carbon fiber wheels are lightweight, so the car feels so nimble compared to even the GT350. You could get it in real cool colors. Now, I think this car that I'm driving here was the perfect spec. I think the most popular color, but also the most desirable color, is Avalanche Gray. There are some obviously cool blue, silver, black, red, yellow, all those other colors. But it seems like the collectors definitely want the Avalanche Gray, so I would probably start there. What's its competition? Well, the competition would be the M2, the M2 CS, the M2 competition. Now those cars, the M2 CS will probably do well because that's in limited numbers, but it's not the raw beast that this car is. So the M2 is definitely more refined, and M2 CS you could certainly use as a daily driver. Now with the GT350R, the suspension is kind of stiff, you know. The clutch is a little stiffer than your modern car, so I don't think that'll be your daily driver. It'll be your weekend car that you could tear up back roads with, and it's definitely a star of Cars and Coffee. What people don't realize is how rare the R actually is. So when you see those red stripes on the car or the carbon fiber wheels, you know it is the R. Now, if you go to a Cars and Coffee, I guarantee there's going to be some Shelby GT350s there, but I almost guarantee you there won't be an R. I've only seen a handful of Rs ever. This is my friend Danny's car, and he was kind enough to let me drive it, and you've seen this car appear in other YouTube videos, and it is just a amazing blast to drive. I mean, this video, instead of taking me an hour or two to film, it probably took me 3 to 4 hours, because typically the longer the video is, the more I like the car. So some notable cars that I liked were the Audi R8s, V8 and especially V10 manual, and this car, the Shelby GT350R. So reiterate what I said. It was a car that sold over sticker for new, super desirable from new, has the pedigree with the Shelby name, has the high revving naturally aspirated engine, which you're not going to see anymore, has a manual transmission, which you're probably not going to see anymore. Keep in mind the GT500 Mustang now has an automatic transmission. This car is very fast, has great performance. This car handles very well. This car is a good looking car. And again, I said rear drive manual naturally aspirated engine. And then the biggest kicker, of course, is they don't make it anymore. And that's huge. When they don't make a car anymore, and it's a desirable car like this, there's nothing to keep that car from hitting the stratosphere as far as value. So you want to get a clean car, obviously original paint, no accidents, unmodified. So modifying this car may make it sound even better. Modifying this car may make it even faster. Modifying this car may, you may have more performance than your neighbors, and certainly will look great at Cars and Coffee in the show. But if you want to make money in this car, you don't need to do that. If you like doing whatever your thing is with this car, you certainly don't need to lose money or make money. I am a commercial real estate broker, so I always look at things as a real estate investment. So to me, I want to drive all my cars for free. So I typically always buy the best example of the car with the lowest mileage, even if I have to pay a little more, because low mileage cars tend to go up higher than high mileage cars. And like I said, you should be able to drive this car for free. And if you get a really good low mileage R, you will, I think, really make money on this car. Now the issue is going to be who's going to sell you the pristine R because what are they going to replace it with? We went through cars that it competes with, like the M2, and really, those cars are so different with the turbo engines. Not that they're not great cars, because they are, but it's going to be very hard to have somebody sell you their car, because what do you're competing against Dodge Hellcats, Vipers, GT3 RSs, Supras. So there's not really like a super competitor to this car that's exactly probably what it competes most against is the GT350. But again, you'll have something special with the R. All right, guys, let me know what you think of this car in the comments. Is it a true collectible? Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.